Bonjour, bienvenue, and welcome to another video. Actually, this is not a video. This is a voice recording podcast. So, in this voice recording podcast, I want to talk about America and how dumbed down it is. To be Pacific, how dumbed down America has become. I noticed when I was watching Kyle Kulinski's Secular Talk and David Dole's The Rational National on YouTube, I noticed when these two guys did some news segments on video on video form, on videos on their YouTube channel or content. They're independent media news outlets, so they're considered new media, and they did some news segments about something. I don't remember what they did. I think about Donald Trump or some sort, or Alex Jones. These guys went on an option on a YouTube video that they were viewing their the news that they were covering on a video. They put it on hyperspeed and made the video faster. And also, my so-called friend, who's not my friend anymore, Martel the Cool, told me to make shorter videos and told me my videos are long, boring, and dreadful. And his argument just fell flat. And also, I watched a video on YouTube and it showed a black man with his eyeballs bulging out of his skull. He looked like a goddamn idiot, and he was sitting next to a white woman. And he was saying this: "Get to the point, to the video. Get to the point." All of that adds up to this. All of that just shows just how dumbed down America has become. Well, going back to David Dole. David Dole is not American. He doesn't live in the United States. He lives in Canada. I have a friend who lives in Canada, Mississauga, Ontario, and he tells me that, Canada tries to copy the USA, and one Canadian, I think another person from Canada told me that Canada is always in the USA's shadow. Canada is always in the United States' shadow. Yeah. I've been watching YouTube videos coming out of Canada, shows how people in Canada are. And they're trying to be more like Americans, and some just don't want to be like Americans. But I'm not gonna come here and talk about Canada, so I'm gonna focus on the U.S. Yeah, short attention spans, a poor, broken, crappy education system, crappy music. I've been listening to music on the radio as of late. New music from singers like Harry Styles, Doja Cat, others that I can't think of. And their music is their tracks from their albums. They don't have albums. Their their music tracks are very, very short. Back in the day, when artists is, they never make short music tracks. They never did. No, actually, some made short music tracks, but it's not the norm like it is now. That just tells me that America is just completely dumbed down. You know, the writing was on the wall, around 2012 that showed that the dumbing down process was just working its magic. By now, like 10 years later, in 2022, it's completely dumbed down. And people here in America, as of late, they are crazy. You know, yeah, mass shooting drills for mass shooters. Um, let's see. Schools all over America are locked down prisons. They look like prisons now because of mass shootings. Jesus. And I noticed, I noticed this when I go to these corporate stores like Walmart, TJ Maxx, Office Depot, you name it. I mean, some of the employees there act completely crazy. I remember I was at this Office Depot in Shreveport, Louisiana. I went to buy some things there, and when I got to the checkout counter, there was this big, tall, white woman with glasses, and she had long, curly hair. And when she told me the total of what I wanted to buy, okay, I don't remember this. I don't remember what happened, but I'll try my best. When she told me the price was, she quickly told me to type down the transaction of if do I want a receipt, do I want a receipt printed or not, do I want it emailed or whatnot. And when I went to select it, okay, well, I looked at it for a little bit. When I went to select it, she went select it for me anyway. And I think I did this when I was putting money back in my wallet. It didn't take me that long. And she just went select it for me anyway because she felt that I was too slow. I said this to my father, and I said this to him. I said, man, these corporations are going crazy. These corporate stores, these corporations are going crazy. And my dad said this to me, tell me about it. Tell me about it. Yeah, I worked at a corporate store, TJ Maxx, all the craziness of the corporation, how my boss was acting towards me, telling me to rush, 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 the store's almost open, blah, 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 blah. I just lost until I was eventually got fired for things that I didn't do. I was just going nuts and start throwing stuff all over the place because of the insanity of a corporate run store. And I lost it, and and these corporations today, they don't give a damn about regular everyday people. Going back to the dumbing down of American society, people got short attention spans. They received a weak, broken, crappy, inefficient education from the broken education system here in the U.S. Yeah. So it just shows that Americans are more stupider than they actually are. Like back in the day, Americans back in the day, a long time ago, they were, I say a little while back, they were kind of intelligent, but now Americans are incredibly stupid. I mean, their eyeballs are glued to smartphones and whatnot. Yeah. And you got people like the Amish, UFC fighter slash WWE superstar wrestler Brock Lesnar, another slew of Americans who don't want to have anything to do with American society, culture, and some of these people, Brock Lesnar like to shit on people, and people like Brock Lesnar who claims that he hates people. This is insane. So this guy hates people. He don't want to be around people because he don't like people. And furthermore, hating everybody is completely insane. You can't hate everybody. If you hate everybody, that's crazy. You're going to hate people that you don't even know. And I think someone who agrees with Brock Lesnar's mindset, someone tells this guy to go see a mental health profession. And I'm saying to myself, if you're going to tell that guy to go see a mental health profession, go tell Brock Lesnar that. If I say the things that Brock Lesnar says, my dad will yank me up and force me to see a bunch of mental health professions and a psychiatrist, and force me to take a lot of pills that'll quote unquote help me cope with my problems. But these pills are going to make me drowsy, sleepy, non-responsive, make me gain weight, make me sleep all the time. Yeah. And also, this is also part of the dumbing down of America. Food. Food in America contains a lot of unhealthy ingredients, toxins, chemicals. You got fruits and vegetables at grocery stores. They're genetically modified. So when you eat fruits and vegetables from the grocery store, you're not eating freshly grown vegetables that were grown in farms. They've been genetically modified. This is true. And the food that Americans consumed that has a lot of chemicals, garbage in them, that's banned in other countries. Countries like the United Kingdom, Canada, and other countries. What's in the food in America is not in the food in other countries, because the chemicals in foods in America are banned from foods in other countries. And that's a smart move, because I heard that countries in Europe, they're very cautious of what's in the food for its citizens of all the countries in Europe. Okay, going back to education here in America. Americans receive poor, lackluster, inefficient education that won't do them any good in the real world. But that's funny. In American schools, teachers tell students that America is the greatest country in the world, and America is the world, and other countries aren't great because they don't have the freedom that America has. It's just basically brainwashing 101. And when Americans hear that, when they were taught this in school, and along with the poor lackluster education that they receive, when they go and encounter foreigners, I'm gonna say not foreigners, I'm gonna say people from other countries, people from countries outside of America. When Americans come face to face with people from other countries, they'll say stupid things like, "Oh, you have an accent. You speak English. You speak English really well. Your English is good." And and oh and they bring up the 4th of July and think that countries outside of America celebrate the 4th of July, and Americans with their poor education, not all of them, I mean, they talk about, oh, when the presidential election goes on in the US and people in America vote for who they want as president, they tell people from other countries that if they're in another country, like I say Australia, and they tell an Aussie, oh, every vote in America counts, you should vote. And like the stuff that goes on in the US has nothing to do with other countries, because the 4th of July, Independence Day, that's for that's America. That's not Australia. That's not the UK. That's not Canada. That's not other countries. That's strictly for America. Then I think I watched a video on YouTube that a woman, I think either Australia or New Zealand, when the 4th of July celebration was happening in the US, she said this to some Kiwis or Aussies in either Australia, the Commonwealth of Australia, or New Zealand. She says this, oh, we're celebrating the 4th of July, freedom, freedom, freedom. Oh yeah, we broke away from you guys, and my country broke away from you guys, and my country is free. And I think it was some Aussies or some Kiwis, either the two, and they said this to this woman. Well, we have more freedom in our country than in your country. Like, your country has the highest prison population in the world, no freedom of the press. Like, and they brought all the negative things about America. And yeah, don't get me wrong, in Australia, in the US, when it comes to voting, in America, you don't have to vote. In Australia, you do. If you don't vote, they'll throw you in jail. And, if an American, a proud patriotic American hears this, they'll say, look at Australia. They don't have no freedom. They don't have no freedom. Well, in countries like Australia, they have the freedom to go out and don't worry about being randomly shot at through mass shootings. I mean, they don't have a mass shooting problem that the United States had, because they don't have the freedom. They have the freedom to go out and don't worry about being shot at. As an Aussie would say, at least we don't have a heap of mass shootings. And that is the truth. Yeah. Yep. Going back to people in America, the good old US of A, looking at YouTubers, American YouTubers like Kyle Kulinski of Secular Talk. I mean, a long time ago, this guy used to be cool, and used to tell the truth about America and all of its problems, in a political way. But now the guy has become an asshole now. And I remember I watched a video from him on his YouTube channel, Secular Talk. He did a likes and dislikes of favorite American snacks like chips and candy. And he talks about, I love chips and candy. And he did fast food. I love fast food. And I know Kyle Kulinski will never talk about what's in the food that makes people gain weight and makes them flare their tempers and control their behavior and make them all whacked out. He never talks about that stuff. He talks about income inequality and lack of universal health care and legalizing marijuana. He talks about stuff like that, which I agree with, but he never talks about what's in the food here in America. He just like any other American who just eats this food and praises it. And, I'm seeing this, you got people in America who never left their country. They never left their home state. They never went overseas. I went overseas. I left my home. I left my country. I left my home state. And, when I went overseas to some of the countries in Europe, I was just blown away by how things are over there. How much things are better over there than here in the U.S. The food is healthier. The people are friendlier. They'll socialize with you. Some of them, not all of them. They're not violent, too violent, undereducated, and over-policed. But I'm not gonna say that everybody in countries in Europe are smart, and they're not. You got some idiots. You got some idiots in countries in Europe. Take a look at the United Kingdom. You got some idiots in the UK, and some Brit said that, Americans think that we're all smart, we're intelligent, we're proper, we're polished twats. But I agree with what they're saying because I don't think everybody in the UK are perfect and clean and nice and intelligent. That's not true. I went to the UK. I went through Heathrow Airport. I saw some of the shitty people in the UK. An old man mumbling to me at a cruise ship dock when he was telling me to take off my shoes to search me. And a police officer ignores my father and walks off. My dad asks him where the buses were. So that tells you, I'm not sheltered and I'm not ignorant like the average American. But don't get me wrong, you got people from other countries who think North America is the Little House on the Prairie, and a British couple, a husband, old, thinks that the state of Texas is just one big gigantic wild, wild west. And my dad told them, well, we live in East. We told my dad that me, my mom, my dad, me, my mom, my sister, and my dad himself, we all live in East Texas, which is forests and piney woods. And it's not one big desert and cactuses and like in West Texas. When you think of the wild, wild west, like deserts and horses and whatnot, you're thinking about West Texas. And there's some horses here in East Texas, Yeah, but yeah, there's stupid people in other countries not just in the US. So, as a Canadian would say, wow, that's spicy. That's too spicy. Whatever that means. Also in America, you got people who get easily offended over every little thing. Every little thing. People get offended, You can't be real. You can't joke around with people anymore because people get easily offended. You got to watch what you say around people of the LGBT community, people who are gay. Everybody in America, regardless of who they are, they get easily offended over every little thing. Every little thing. Like for instance, I remember I posted a video that was titled 78 Reasons Why Men Suck or American Men Suck. And someone flagged that video, and it led to YouTube taking that video down. And I ended up getting a strike. And the video was deemed by YouTube as bullying and harassment. I never harassed, I never bullied anybody. I've been harassed. I've been bullied. I've been picked on. It just shows that, people nowadays here in the US of A, they just start crying, and they just get their feelings hurt and start crying because, they're way, way, way too sensitive. Music. What's on television? What's on the radio? If you say something that just triggers people today who get easily offended over every little thing, they'll start complaining. You got these crazy women running around who are called Karens, and they just get offended over every little thing, every little thing. Like for instance, a bunch of guys, pulling pranks, running around farting all over stores like Walmart and TJ Maxx, and these Karens and these easily offended people get all butthurt about it and take it all seriously. You can't. Dave Chappelle was joking around with people on his Netflix show, and and I don't know what happened. My sister claimed that Dave Chappelle wasn't talking bad about, I think, transgender people, because Dave Chappelle had respect for them. He said a woman like who was transgender, like she was like, she was like treated like crap, and Dave Chappelle felt sorry for her and he defended her, and he said that, like, if she has a problem, I'll pay for everything for it, pay for her going to school. And Dave Chappelle's a cool guy, he's funny, he's a cool guy, but you got people like Mike Figueroa of the Humanist Report. He calls Dave Chappelle an idiot. He calls his fans who like him an idiot. David Dole from the Rational National, he's Canadian, he's not American. He talks about, Dave Chappelle, he doesn't say funny stuff anymore. He just talk about stuff. Shut the fuck up. Yeah. Stuff like that just pisses me off. It just makes me sick to my stomach. And it does. I'm not going to go around and talk bad about people. If someone like treats me like crap and walks all over me, yeah, I'm going to fight back and bash them. But I'm not going to run around and just bash someone just for the heck of it. No. You got some people gonna call me a hypocrite on that, but I'm gonna say this. Whatever. So, you know, whatever. Yeah. You got sensitive, easily offended people here in the States. Everybody gets easily offended over every little thing. You know, I got someone here on YouTube by the name of 217 Champion who's awesome. And he said this to me. We live in a punk bitch pussified era. We live in a punk bitch pussified era. And, I don't want to say that, and I just said it, but, he's right, you know. That just explains why everything today sucks, But don't get me wrong, I don't go around like saying adult related stuff around children, I don't say stuff around children. If I'm around a family, a wife and a husband with children, I'm not going to say profanity or anything adult related around them. I'm going to show them respect. And that's what I'm going to do. There's a saying that my dad who told me this, there's a time and place for everything, but in today's America, that doesn't mean anything at all. Speaking of transgender, I remember I watched a YouTube video of a black guy going into a Dollar Tree store somewhere in Ohio, and some transgender woman or man who's a cashier accuses him of stealing something out of the Dollar Tree, and the black guy was just going in and buying some orange juice there, and the police came. The police accused him of being a thief, and he said, well, he told the police, well, I was just going in there and buying some. I just went in there to buy some orange juice. And the police told him, the police was so stupid, they said this, don't come back here ever again. And the black guy said, well, I'm not going to come back here ever again because I live in California. Because about time I leave, I'm going to be long gone. And the cops are so goddamn stupid. And they said this again, don't ever come back here ever again. So yeah, the police officers, some of the cops here in America, police, the police have no business, not business, but some people who are in law enforcement have no business wearing that badge, that uniform, and carrying a gun holster with a gun and having that police training. I'm gonna say this, I think all cops are stupid, and someone here in Texas told me, if you live in the state of Texas, you gotta respect the police. Well, I don't respect thugs, thieves, and I don't respect murderers that are within the law enforcement community, and I don't respect cowards. Like case in point, like the police in Uvalde, Texas, who sat back and let a bunch of innocent children getting slaughtered by a gunman during a mass shooting. So I have to respect that? Get out of here. Going back to that transgender man or woman at that Dollar Tree store, the LGBT community, they want to like complain about they have all the rights and all, but they don't want to be treated badly, but they go around and some of them go around and treat other people badly. And they'll treat people with disabilities badly. Some of them, not all of them. But it's funny, they don't talk about how people with disabilities are being mistreated. Yeah, and going back to going back to the division of the dumbed down society here in the US, movies suck now. Just like just like what's on TV, just like what's on the radio, FM AM radio. Movies are garbage now, you know. Too much feminism, too much family friendly stuff. It's just too dumbed down. And R-rated films, you know, back in the day, R-rated films were like anything goes. Now they're just so saturated and weak and pathetic now. You know, case in point with the movie Fist Fight. They had a little girl cursing. It was kind of funny, but you know, it just falls flat, weak. So, what a dumbed down society America is. Wow. Yeah, America is completely dumbed down. You know, dumbed down television, dumbed down music, dumbed down radio shows on the radio, FM, AM radio, also on Sirius XM, videos on YouTube. Everything's dumbed down. Completely dumbed down. People got short attention spans. People got poor education. You know, someone, you know, my friend from Canada said this to me. Canada and the USA will eventually collapse. And they both will collapse. Well, I don't know about Canada, but the USA is crumbling. I mean, in 2019, like, you know, it was crumbling and falling apart at the seams. And in 2022, it's just a big crumbling mess now. This country is broken. It's broken. Yeah. So, you know, America's going to get worse from here. And, you know, all I can do is, you know, keep my cool and not let all this shit get to me. You know, and to all of those people with a very, 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 very short attention span, to those people who say that I have reading comprehension issues and I have a speech impediment, to all those people, trolls who attack me here on YouTube, I'm going to say this: kiss my ass. Well, that's all I got to say in this video. Au revoir.